This is the brand new Apple Watch Series 7. It is the green one. I promise it's green. When it catches the light just right, it looks really green, but most of the time it looks like this, like a graphite gray. This watch is a bit of a redesign compared to the last few models of the Apple Watch. So if you're thinking about upgrading, you might have some questions about the Series 7. And I mean, I'm gonna answer a bunch here, but the more important questions to ask are about your watch. How's your watch? Is it good? How's the screen? Does it show the time when you need it to? Is the screen big enough? How's the battery? Is it good? Yeah? Is it charging fast enough? You getting all the quantified self-biometric but non-medical data that you use to track all of your health stuff? That going well? Sure? Yeah. You got any scratches on your watch? Is it cracked? No? It's good? Do you even have an Apple Watch? Have you ever wanted one? Unless the answer to one of those questions tells you that you need a new Apple Watch, you don't need to think twice about the Apple Watch Series 7. But if you do need a new Apple Watch, well, I'm going to tell you what's new. The Apple Watch Series 7 is not the major redesign that we saw rumored leading up to its release. Instead, we have a subtle update that's all about two things: durability and a bigger screen. The screen is 20% bigger than the last few Apple Watches, and you can really see it. The bezel is smaller and everything on the screen is bigger. Now, when the Series 3, which by the way is still available and I do not think you should buy it. Anyway, when the Series 3 got updated to the Series 4, the bigger screen on the 4 made a huge difference. But here on the Series 7, I just don't think it makes enough of a difference to justify an upgrade. Now, the second thing is that Apple says the watch is more durable. The front crystal is more crack resistant. The whole thing is now IP6X dust resistant, in addition to the usual water resistance to 50 meters that we've seen on a bunch of Apple Watches now. And if you leave the ambient mode screen on, it is slightly brighter indoors, but the overall maximum brightness of the screen hasn't changed. So the screen, the design, the durability, they're all really nice, but none of them are reasons to upgrade. Now, this year with the iPhones, Apple made battery life for the iPhone 13 mini and regular and Pro Max way, way better. This year for the Apple Watch, it made charging slightly faster, but battery life is still hitting that same 18-hour target that Apple's aiming for. I gladly would have traded this bigger screen for better battery life, but instead it's just about the same as what we've had for the last couple of years. But the faster charging is noticeable. It comes with a USB-C cable, so you gotta make sure you have a charger that can use it. But if you've got that, you get just enough juice in the morning while you putter around doing your routine to get charged up for basically the whole day. I could charge this thing up about 20% in 10 minutes. It's pretty fast. So we got a bigger screen, but what I really wanted was better battery life. And we got faster charging, but what I really wanted is more convenient charging. The Apple Watch still doesn't support standard Qi charging, so you can't charge it on a regular standard pad or, off the back of the iPhone. Actually, the only thing you can charge off the back of the iPhone is that weird battery pack that Apple makes, and that's only when the iPhone itself is plugged in. And I don't know, Apple, you should get on that. You should let us charge things off the back of the iPhone. Just go ahead and copy Samsung. We promise we won't tell anybody. So the hardware got some really minor iterative updates. Not reasons to buy a new watch, but they're nice if you end up buying a new watch. As for software, Apple made some of the new features in watchOS 8 exclusive to the Series 7. The idea is that the bigger screen of this watch lets Apple do more stuff on it, but I'm not convinced most of these features couldn't go on older Apple Watches, but let's go through them. First off, there are two new custom watch faces. Contour puts the numbers on the edge of the screen, and it has them change size as the time changes. And Modular Duo lets you have two big full-width complications instead of just one. Then there's a new keyboard which you can tap or swipe on. As smartwatch keyboards go, it's not bad, but I would still rather just dictate to Siri most of the time. I would like to compare this keyboard to FlickType, the third-party Apple Watch keyboard, but Apple kicked it out of the App Store a little while ago, and now they're getting sued on it by the developer over the decision to kick them out right before they made their own keyboard. I mean, come on, Apple. The rest of the new features in watchOS 8 apply to pretty much all Apple Watches, but the tweaks are fairly minor. There's a new portrait mode watch face that can hover the time behind a head, and there's a new world time watch face that's very busy, but third-party developers still can't make their own fully custom watch faces. You're stuck with what Apple gives you. The Home app, though, for smart home controls is much better now. There's easier to find buttons and statuses at the top. But honestly, There's really only one watchOS feature that I care about talking about right now. Multiple timers. Multiple timers! Finally! You can set them in the app, or you can set them with Siri. You can name them. It's a revolution. It's also something you still can't do at all on the iPhone. 2021, baby. Otherwise, watchOS 8 and the Apple Watch Series 7 do basically the same stuff as before. There's an ECG monitor, a heart rate monitor, and a blood oxygen monitor. And no, you should not use any of these monitors for medical diagnostic purposes. This is not a medical device. At best, it's like a health device, a quantified self gadget, and a pretty good fitness tracker. Which leads me to my favorite thing. Let's ride bikes! There may not be new health sensors in the Series 7, but watchOS 8 does have some new fitness features. Now, all Apple Watches can finally do bike workout detection, and it works. Even if you've got some starts and stops or whatever you think might fool it, 5 to 10 minutes in, it asks if you'd like to track your workout, and then you reach over and you hit the button, and bang, you're tracking your bike workout. It's a good start, but I don't think it's quite enough. There's no easy way to get the kind of data that cyclists really care about integrating with the Apple Watch's data. So if you have a cadence sensor or a power meter on your bike, getting those numbers merged with the Apple Watch GPS and heart rate data is still difficult. You're kind of on your own to figure that out. Apple is also making its fall detection feature work during workouts like bike rides. And also, speaking of bike rides, it's supposed to detect when you're on an e-bike and adjust your calorie metrics accordingly, but I can't tell if it works if it's turned on yet. When you go look at a fitness thing, there's no way to tell if it thinks it was an e-bike right now. All of these bike features, they're also on the older watches, so just like everything else, they're not necessarily a reason to upgrade to the Series 7. They're just a reason for us to show you these pretty shots from Pacifica, California. I say this every year because it's true every year. The Apple Watch Series 7 is the best smartwatch, and there's nothing even close, especially for Android users, because you can't use an Apple Watch with Android. But if you already have an Apple Watch and it's not broken and it's not bothering you, there's nothing here that is going to urge you to get an upgrade right away. And that's not a failure, by the way. It would be weird to replace any watch every year or 2 or 3 years, and the Apple Watch is a watch. So you should replace yours when it's broken or when it's not meeting your needs, and not before that point. But if it is time for you to get an Apple Watch, that is when the Series 7 will be worth the upgrade, because it's great. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. If you missed it, we've also reviewed the iPhone 13 and the iPad mini, and you can click on something now to watch them, and I should point where that is, but I've been doing this for a decade and I still don't know what direction to point.